Okay, we are live. Hello.
Hello. Yes, we're live.
Yes, we
Exciting.
are live. Yeah, hello everyone.
Hi,
As
everyone.
usual, we are waiting for some people to join. And while we are waiting, we already have a dozen of people, by the way. Maybe you can see a number of them, and
Mhm.
it's amazing. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Thank you for spending your morning, afternoon, maybe evening with us. It's evening, at least in my place. And yeah, we are waiting some more people to join, and we will be ready to start like in a minute or so. And yeah, just share where do you join from, what do you expect to hear
Hi, Stephanie.
today. Hello,
Ooh.
Stephanie. Stephanie is amazing person.
One of the regulars.
Yes. Well, it's
Amazing.
it's it's some kind of emoji that our stream doesn't understand, but um, yeah, it's about hands.
Hey,
Hello, Carol.
guys. Face blue smiling, hand pink waving. There's a lot of colors there. Love it.
Yeah, a lot of colors. Unfortunately, I don't know why, but sometimes we can see emojis, and sometimes it works like I don't know.
Yeah.
Hello,
Oh,
Jenny.
yeah. Okay. I'm supposed to see emojis. Yeah. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Megan.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining.
So
Hello, George.
exciting.
George from George. Oh my God. Hello, hello from Texas. Justin, hello, hello.
So how do you keep track of? Because I can't see on Restream the number of people we have here, but it seems to be growing,
Uh,
and I can't follow it.
yeah. So now we have more than 50
Oh,
people.
cool!
Yeah,
Amazing.
continue to join. Hello. It's
Hi,
only like
Anye. Hi,
second minute.
Benny.
Hello. Hello. Oh, it's a lot of comments and
Yes,
from your YouTube channel as well. Hello. Oh
that's
my God.
that's exciting. Currently stuck in the perfectionism trap right now. Well, you're in the right place.
Yes, it's
Hopefully, we can help with that.
yes, definitely. Hello from Romania. Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Hello from Canada. A lot of people from Canada today and from the States as well. Hello.
Love it.
We have a lot of amazing people across the globe today. So
Yes.
hi. And a lot of familiar faces. Hello from Belfast. Hello. Amazing. Now we have more than 70 people, by the way. I will
Cool.
keep track on of it. Hello. Hello.
Oh, from
It-
Luxembourg.
oh my God.
Support from Europe. Yay. Hi from Germany, Katrin. Hey from Denmark. This is so cool. Everyone is joining from everywhere. Um,
Yes. A lot of people across the globe. It's amazing.
yes. Okay. I feel like we're getting closer to the start.
Yeah. I
Um,
believe we should start probably. Thank you
yeah.
so much for sharing. It's like amazing people today, as always. And as you can see, we have somebody new today. We have a new topic. We have amazing person over here, and she will be running our webinar. I will help her to, maybe with something during our stream. And hello again. Beautiful brains always
Yes.
here. Yes,
Hey,
perfectionism does connect us.
everyone. Perfectionism does connect us. Yes, it does. Hoping that you
Yeah.
can relate, but I'm sure you will. Thank you
Yes.
so much, Sari, for co-hosting this with me, from inviting me over to talk about this topic. I'm really excited to get started. We're going to try to not be perfectionist about the way this webinar goes. It's the theme. So I'm going to give myself grace also with this first experience, actually, first time being on a webinar. It's not the same as talking to your camera when making YouTube videos. So slightly more entertaining. You get to talk to people live.
Yeah, so you
Um,
already know that it's not just a host, it's a YouTube creator. So someone famous already. Maybe you already know, of
famous,
course.
famous,
Yeah,
yes,
hello.
of course.
Yeah, famous for sure. Now we have more than 80 people, by the way, and I believe
Cool.
we can start. And please introduce yourself to our audience. And I just want to ask, all of our attendees just, it's the first time, and try to be as supportive as possible. It's, like,
Yes, please.
yeah. Thank you all. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much, Serhi. We're going to start. And I first want to encourage you to please continue what you're doing with interacting in the chat. That's great. I want to hear from you. I might just close the chat at some points when I don't want to get distracted and talking. And then at some points when I, want to ask questions, I'm going to open it again and look at what you're saying. So it'll be a game of like trying to not get too distracted. But I'm sure we're going to manage. Great. Looks and sounds great. Great. Okay. Perfect. So, or not perfect. Let's get started. So, hello, and everyone. Hello, everyone. My name is Candice, and today we're going to be talking about perfectionism and the ADHD mind, and how to get basically unstuck and start moving forward towards your goal imperfectly. So, I want to start with the very first question of the day. What's the last task you delayed because you didn't feel ready? I'm going to take a few moments to let you reply in the chat because I want to hear from you right now.
I can share. I'll be the first one. I understand, like, I'm also even like viewing this webinar or whatever. This morning I had to record a Loom video about some of the features inside like styles,
Mm-hmm.
and I spent an hour just to record a 4 minutes long Loom video.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah,
you
just
were
try to be,
getting,
like,
yeah, creating it. Okay, yeah, that sounds a lot like my experience preparing this presentation, actually. So I feel you. I feel you. And we have some more comments coming in. Ooh, lots of things. Creating a digital product, building a creative portfolio, getting a passport. Oof, lots of
oh,
admin tasks.
stressful.
Hate it. Report. Oh, applying for jobs. That's one that that I really, really deeply understand. Career exploration, social media strategy. There's so much here. So you all delayed those tasks because you didn't feel ready. And because, spoiler, you know what we're going to talk about today. You know that this might be, in some cases, maybe all cases, linked to perfectionistic tendencies that we have as ADHDers and as actually everyone else on the planet. But what I want you to get out of this presentation, most of it is that you're not alone, and this is definitely a collective experience that not only we share as ADHDers, but other people and other humans on the planet share this. And I feel like it's such a lonely experience sometimes when you are stuck in this perfectionistic tendency and you want to reach this unreachable goal. But it's really useful to remind ourselves that it's not us against the rest of the world, like it sometimes feels. It's also research that shows that this perfectionistic thinking is one of the main, if not the first, cognitive distortion found in ADHD adults. So it's like this one thing. If there's one thing I want you to retain from this presentation, it's this: it's not only, you're not broken. We're gonna start by this, but let's keep going. Quickly, who I am. Who am I? I'm Candice Hermit from France. As we mentioned with Serhi, for those who weren't here, I have a YouTube channel called Your ADHD Girl. I started making content there when I was just getting diagnosed, so 4 or 5 years ago. And I talk about ADHD tips, tricks, just how to understand your brain. And I talked about topics like ADHD paralysis, so stuff that's closely related to perfectionism. Always, I put a DNA brand there because I have a biology, biomedicine background, so that also really gets me excited to learn more about like what's going on in our brain. The cupcake is for my passion of baking, so I thought I'd include that because it's really important. And the people holding, it's kind of my love for connecting with people face to face, just through those experiences of sharing my own experience with ADHD, but also pulling people together to help them like help each other, and support each other in dealing with ADHD, etc. And I'll talk to you a bit more about this at the end. But I'm really passionate about this, and I'm going to keep going with this topic of perfectionism today. So, remember that one task you delayed and you mentioned earlier. I want you to tune into your body and go back in time to this task that you were delaying and try to figure out, how did it feel? How did it feel? What were their thoughts, the emotions? How did it feel to not get started on the task? And same here, we can use Serhi to give the first answer while we're waiting for the lag between
Uh,
the live and the answers.
yes, it was super stressful. I understand that I need to start to do it when I started to do so. I had some kind of scenario of what do you want to showcase, and I started to do like the very first part, like first 10 seconds, I believe, and I started to talk about something, and I was, like, and I need to record again, I need to record again, and
And you
then
got
I just,
self-conscious. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I've been frozen, I believe. I just, like, look into the wall, and I was like, oh, I need to, like, calm down and to, ah,
To
I
like
know,
collect
just to
yourself,
push, yeah,
breathe.
just to push myself to do so. So yeah, it was a
Yeah,
stressful experience, but
it's tough.
somehow I managed.
Stressful, you said. It's interesting because
Yes.
we're getting guilty. So Katrin says feeling guilty and useless. That's that's tough. I think the useless part is really like what strikes me the most. Guilt, something that comes up again. Heaviness, dread, guilt, shame, frustration, depression, anxiety. That's a lot. And I definitely relate to you, Mystical Rainbow Cassie. I don't know if I say this right. Bad conscience for not doing it. Yeah. Guilty, frustrated with myself. Adds to the shame pile. Yes.
Mm,
It's like one other things I didn't get done. And that sucks.
yeah, paralyzing is something that I experienced. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
It's like just adds to the pile of things I'm not able to do like everyone else. Okay. We'll have so many other comments. I've read all of this. I need to get moving. Otherwise, I'm afraid I'm not going to finish in time because poor time perception. But yes, what the hell is wrong with me? Yes, okay, we'll stay with that one. So it all feels very dark and oppressive. But why I wanted to reflect on this and really feel what are you feeling in those instances where you are being a perfectionist is to show you that there are actually two kinds of perfectionism, and we ADHDers, as you uh, saw for yourselves, we tend to have very, very negative images of ourselves and very negative psychological things going on when we're being perfectionists. And I wanted to start with the other kind of perfectionism that exists out there. That's, let's call it, that's called actually by the research adaptive versus the other kind, which is maladaptive. And in the adaptive perfectionism, you can imagine someone having very high standards, yet realistic standards, and being flexible with those standards. And it would be interesting while I'm speaking about those things that to see if you relate or if you relate to the other kind of perfectionism. So the self-evaluation bit, if you imagine someone with good adaptive perfectionism, when they achieve the thing that they feel perfectionism for, they will feel satisfied most of the time. And the psychological outcomes will be rather positive. So they will feel good and they have, good self-esteem. And when they're coping with failure, so if they haven't managed to get the grade they wanted or get the assignment done, what they will do is react constructively. So they'll see the thing for what it is. Oh, okay, I didn't get that A that I wanted. I got a B. Like, what happened? What went wrong? Like, how can I don't know, think again about my way of studying so that I can get a better grade? And that's, growth oriented, learning oriented. On the other side, and this is not necessarily like every person who has ADHD has this kind of perfectionism. I want to clarify, but it seems like from all your answers about how you felt in those moments, it looks to me more like the psychological outcomes of a maladaptive type of perfectionism. And in this case, when you're concerned with this kind of perfectionism, you have unrealistically high standards and you often don't even realize it. And they're very rigid. So it's like, I need, for example, for Serhi, you need to film the loom and it needs to be like exactly this kind of format. It needs to be like 10 minutes and it needs to be perfect. You need to speak very clearly, don't make any mistakes, blah, blah, blah. So it's very rigid. And then when you self evaluate, you said it yourself, you were like, oh no, I need to start again. And like, you're very self critical with yourself. You're not satisfied with what you're doing. And it just ends up turning into this cycle that eventually becomes negative outcomes. So here there's anxiety and depression, but it can be rumination, frustration. That's one feeling I feel a lot when I get into this cycle. And when we deal with failure, instead of going at it with a constructive mindset, we might just go and just avoid altogether any other tasks, or just go into full rumination. Again, that word comes up a lot because yeah, it's the state of just being stuck in this endless negative cycle of thoughts. And it's obviously, as you can see and imagine and probably experience, not productive. So, maladaptive perfectionism. I think it's interesting to guess, like, where does it come from? Because I know, I mean, for myself, I like to understand, like, okay, why am I this way, right? Like, it's so unfair. So at least I need to understand, why am I this kind of perfectionist, and why is it the maladaptive kind? Well, first, the thing that always comes up when you think about psychological traits is obviously caregivers and education. Although they're not to shame for who we are, they do make up a part of who we are. And if you had parents who maybe pressured you to have the good grades or whatever, it can like play a little role in this perfectionist tendency. But there are other things like life events. Let's say that you get grounded or scolded for doing things because of your ADHD traits. So like, I don't know, you're drawing and then you're passing the line because you're impulsive, and I don't know. And then the teacher says, no, you should not do this. And it gets into your head that you need to perform better the next time. So you keep like reaching for higher goals that will prevent you from getting scolded again. That definitely gets into this perfectionistic tendencies. Um, and society is one that I very often underestimated. And having researched the thing, I realized that we're really living in a, I mean, we all know that, like, very productive society that bases our worth on what we do rather than who we are. And so it comes back to the idea that perfectionism is collective. It's not only 80 years, it's not only a few people. It's we're all pressured by society to have the perfect health, the perfect fitness, produce perfect work. And so there's a lot of standards like putting pressure on us already. And I feel like all the people who mention looking for jobs, that's really hard right now. Doing lots of things that involve like interacting with how society works can be really pressuring. And it obviously ADHD symptoms and traits, and that's something we're going to go deeper into to understand really how perfectionism interacts with ADHD and how ADHD can make perfectionism, can reinforce this perfectionism in us, how basically it plays. So, and yeah, to mention quickly that perfectionism is not one of our ADHD traits or symptom, but it's more like a coping strategy. It's like a, let's say, an overcompensation for other things. Um, so yeah, I don't know about you, but it would be useful while I'm explaining this that you tell me about like how you view yourself when you think about this time, this task that I asked you about, or any other thing where you feel perfectionist. How do you visualize yourself? I mean, I tend to do this. I like to visualize myself, and here I did like this little graph. But do you have an image? It could be, I don't know, you being lonely and like this, and everyone else looking at you like critically. I don't know. I imagine myself being at one step of a staircase, and I want to go all the way up. And I think that I need to go like 10, 20 steps up, and realistically, what I don't see is that I actually only need to go, I don't know, like 2, 3 steps up, but I don't see that. And I think that everyone, if they were in my shoes, would need and would be able to go all the way, I imagine. and it feels really heavy because in my mind, when I think like this, I'm like, how the hell can I get from here to there? Like, there's no pathway. There's just a big, enormous cliff and gap. Um, and so this is what I called the gap of despair, because you feel so hopeless. You don't know what is the right path? Like, how can I possibly get to my goal? And I don't know if I already mentioned this, but preparing this presentation and webinar, I wanted to send Serhi a first draft of what I had. That was the perfect instance of perfectionism playing out, because I imagine this unreachable goal of doing all the slides perfectly, filling them out, having explanations, having already rehearsed the thing, even though it was supposed to be a first draft. Um, and that just led to me just feeling like I can't do that. It's too much. Like, I don't know how to get there, and it just made me feel anxious, hopeless, guilt. And it's funny because we find everything you said in the chat, everyone, is pretty much what I felt in those instances. And it led to two things. One is more and more self defeating talk. So, once again, I'm failing, I'm disappointing people, I'm so stupid, I can't do anything right. And this goes on and on and on in your head. And the direct results of everything, of this self critique, is obviously more procrastination, more ADHD paralysis, which is just like getting stuck, not being able to make a decision, being stuck in your body, even avoiding any work task or any task related to that assignment or thing you have to do. And basically, it equals inaction, so not doing anything. And so instead of just getting to work, you've now spent hours, days, months, like agonizing or fantasizing about what you could do, what you could reach as a goal, and why you're not able to reach it. And you've spent way more time thinking than doing. And if you made something last minute, you hope that you don't get a really terrible grade or get fired. And ironically, you feel drained. You feel exhausted because you feel like you've spent so much energy just trying to do something and it's not working, and you're actually not doing anything. And you're still at the point you were hours, weeks, months ago. And it sucks. So I think it's the right time to, ask you for the first part of this webinar, because my time perception is really poor. So, okay, I think we're good in terms of timing. Um, to ask you, what is the one thing? So, from everything I mentioned in this first part of the webinar, what is the one thing that you really click with and that you really relate with in terms of your relationship with perfectionism? Is there anything that strikes you, anything that you learn? I'd love to know. And we're getting comments
Yeah,
coming in.
if you don't mind, I will be the first one. It's, the slide before the last one. I was looking on this, like anxiety and all of different kind of things, and
Mhm.
I felt like I was feeling, like a bit stupid because it's like it's super easy to record a video for 4 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever, and then you saw the next slide with these pink boxes, and there's I'm so stupid, and it was about me. Yeah, so yeah,
Oh, yeah.
trying to do your best. Sometimes it feels like it's
Yes.
it's super easy to do, but
You
you
feel like the
just
most
can't
stupid
do
person
it.
on earth. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's bad. It's
And
bad.
it's often, like you said, like very easy tasks sometimes that we
Yeah, yeah,
procrastinate
yeah,
on or
yeah.
that we're perfectionists with.
Hmm.
Um, and it feels even worse. Yeah, so we're getting a few comments.
And by the way,
Overthinking.
we have almost 100 people watching us live. So
Great. So happy to have you guys. Rumination and how part of my brain thinks thinking is doing. Yes. Yes, that was such a big realization for me, Willow Winkle. The part where I stepped back and I realized that all I've been doing and spending so much energy on is thinking. It's not actually like doing anything. And usually when I start doing, I spend like way less energy than when I was just torturing my brain with thinking about it. Um, Tying my value as a human being to my ability to achieve. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's very, very deep and very true. That's, I think, what we all experience. No, I should be able to do this. What the hell is wrong with my brain? Get more excited about the process of tackling the project than the actual work of the project. Yes, this is very common. It's like you get so much dopamine from imagining what it could look like, how good it could be, how great, how wonderful. And then you actually don't realize it's hard work and like a lot of steps to get there. Um, Lazy and stupid. Yes. Oh, finish things in my mind. I feel like you guys are my people. We understand each other. That's good. I feel like you're relating to what I'm saying. So it's a massive win for me, and I think we're going to continue, and hopefully you get some more helpful bits from the next part.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you all for sharing. It's like yeah, super important. Thank you. It's a
Yes.
lot of comments. Maybe the greatest amount of comments so far. So yeah, it's
Wow.
well,
Record
yeah, yeah.
breakers. Yay.
Yes, yes,
It feels so
yeah,
good to be seen. Well, thank you so much for, again, like you said, Serhis, thank you so much to you guys for sharing, and brainstorming is the fun part. Yeah. So let's get going. I'm getting really distracted here, but it's so amazing that you
yeah.
guys
Let's
are
go.
interacting. Yes. Okay. Okay. So, oh, losing my voice here. Um, so another thing where maybe it's just I'm curious and always want to explore, like, why is this happening, but maybe some of you might benefit from understanding, okay, what is the actual like link between ADHD and perfectionism? Why are we more prone to being a perfectionist than our neighbor who is not ADHD? And that is due to a couple of things. Mostly this cognitive distortion that we mentioned at the very beginning, this perfectionistic thinking. The people who have adaptive perfectionism don't necessarily have this distortion, which yields usually negative results. So this is something that we have with the maladaptive kind of perfectionistic thinking. And other things involve the negative self concept. So this and all, oops, sorry, and all the other factors can be reinforced by, again, like I was saying at the beginning, life events. So the negative self concept, I think, is really related to ADHD in general, self criticism. I think part of it is due to our um, like it's not likelihood the word I'm thinking about, but we're more prone to rumination, just the way our brain is wired. And I think the rumination doesn't really help with the self concept and self critique, because it's very easy to get into a negative pattern of thinking. So there's that. There's also the maladaptive personality traits. And that can seem a bit weird on the screen. Like, what is high neuroticism and low conscientiousness? Like, what does this mean? Well, research has found that those personality traits interact with perfectionism. And the high neuroticism is the kind of basically like negative emotions. So we have a higher likelihood of feeling those negative emotions and getting stuck in them. And the low conscientiousness, really struggle to say that word in English, is kind of a mix of all the ADHD symptoms that we have, including like distractibility, impulsivity. We like don't care as much sometimes about the results as the people would want, because I don't know, it's more like a laid back type of personality that some ADHDers tend to share. So all of this combines to make a great soup for perfectionistic behavior. And the thing I highlighted here is, I think, one of the most important things involved with perfectionism, and it's emotional dysregulation. Because we ADHDers tend to have higher intensity of emotions, tend to, as I said about the negative self concept, get stuck in the negative ones and ruminate a lot. So one of the most important thing to learn is how to regulate those emotions. But just to summarize this, all of those factors basically create this cycle of really unrealistic standards, self-criticism, and emotional distress. And it's why it feels so like yucky, so guilty, the guilt, the shame, and everything you mentioned since the very beginning. This is why we get stuck in this. And luckily, it doesn't have to be that way. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a very great presentation if I didn't give you some tips or some hope for how to not make it go away, because I don't think I have a magic formula to just make perfectionism disappear. But I'm going to share things that I think are important to consider when wanting to distance yourself from too much perfectionism and just get things done. Because at the end of the day, if there's one thing apart from perfectionism is a collective experience, one other thing I would like you to remember is and I just forgot because I have ADHD. I was going to say one of the other things. It's going to come back to me later. Whatever. Moving on with an imperfect presentation. So the ambitious yet realistic goal of this presentation. Yes, exactly. You see, I had my back covered. I had it in the next slide. So don't need to stress. What I want you to come out of this presentation with is a guiding principles to go from stuck in paralysis because of perfectionism to an 80 year imperfectly moving towards their goals. Um, and that's the goal. And before the next part, I want to interact with you again because I see the chat is going fast. And thank you so much, Kiri Concepts. I'm reading a bit of what you're saying right now. Is there any, maybe that's another task that you mentioned from the beginning, but anything that you're hoping this presentation helps you with currently? Or is there anything I haven't mentioned yet that you would want to get out of this presentation, webinar, whatever, and maybe that we could tackle in the Q&A after that? Let me know. So in the meantime, I'm going to keep going if that's okay, Serhi. Yeah, I think
Yes, absolutely.
we're good on time.
You're doing amazing. Yeah, thank you.
Okay,
And
great.
super related to the audience. Yeah,
Okay,
everything's amazing.
perfect. So let's get started with the rest. Number one, I think it's really important to, like with any other psychological traits or patterns that you're trying to modify, it's crucial to recognize when it's happening. And that can seem really basic and really simple. But I guess if you're here and if you're sharing your struggles like I am and Serhi is, it's probably not that easy for you to recognize. And it takes a lot of practice, and I'm far from perfect at it, pun unintended. But I've found that a few questions can help in determining whether you're involved in perfectionistic thinking. So the first one is, do I know what's expected of me precisely? And with that question, do my personal expectations match what's expected of me? Meaning that sometimes, if we take again the example of the first draft of the presentation, what Serhi's uh, requirements or expectations were very basic. He was just like, you can send me like a draft, whatever, like what you have. Send me what you have in like a week. And in my head, I started building this super complex thing of I need to create the presentation, I need to have a perfect Canva template, I need to do all those slides perfectly, and blah blah blah. And I need to have this really long list of things done by this day, even though that was not what Serhi asked me to do. He didn't give me this list. He didn't say like, do the Canva presentation, then do this, then do that, then do this. So we tend to inflate what's asked of us, and we tend to do this with ourselves when we're ourselves giving assignments. And so that's a really helpful question to just realize, okay, like what I'm doing here is giving myself much more work that I'm supposed to have right now. And another question that I feel is really useful is related to this feeling of loneliness that I think is very revealing, is, do I feel like everyone else around me would do this task very easily and it seems impossible for me? So coming back to the I feel so stupid and everyone else is so smart. If you feel very lonely like this and you feel like you're the only person on the planet to not be able to do this very simple task, chances are you're involved in black and white thinking, which is heavily related to perfectionism. So I think it's very revealing, this one. And the last one would be, do I get discouraged anytime I start thinking about making progress on this particular task I'm procrastinating? If you react viscerally to a task, being like, no, 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 I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Like, stuff must be going on under the surface. And usually, whether it's self criticism or anxiety or guilt or whatever, there might be perfectionism hanging around. So, uh, and another thing I want to mention, and tell me if I speak too much and you want to do a little break and you want to interact, because I'm into it. But yeah, so if you're having trouble answering those questions in your mind, that's completely normal. We ADHDers struggle with poor executive functions. So, if you haven't heard of it, it's this thing called a working memory, which people use to hold thoughts in their heads. We don't have a great working memory. So, what happens is you have one thought, and then the next comes up, and the first thought is gone. Basically, if I have to summarize it. So, those like verbal and nonverbal working memories are extremely helpful to just process and recognize things that's happening. So that's why we also struggle with self evaluation, because we just struggle to like mentally juggle with things in our head. So the second thing that I think is really important is to extract things that you have in your head. And that's, I think, probably a common advice for more than just perfectionism, but it's especially interesting for perfectionism, given that there's a high link with emotional dysregulation, and that usually the thoughts are really, really aggressive towards yourself and really mean, and stuff you wouldn't say to anyone else than you. So, with this in mind, I have this perfect example from Harry Potter. I'm so glad to have included a reference to Harry Potter in this webinar somehow. I don't know if you guys remember this tool. If you do, can you please add it to the chat? Like, do you remember what this is called? And then I can explain exactly what it does. But it basically, without telling you too much, helps in the it gives you an image of what it's like for an ADHD to extract thoughts and emotions and be able to see them kind of like outside of your brain and be able to process them. So for now, we don't have any guessers. Serhi, do you remember what this tool is called?
Not in English, unfortunately, but
Oh,
even
you have it.
in
Okay, you have it in your language. Then go ahead.
but even in Ukrainian, uh,
Yeah, I
it's
don't
I
have
don't
it
know,
in French
it's
actually.
somewhere.
Yes, we
Uh,
have a winner. Kiri concepts. Pensive. Yes. It's a pensive. I don't even know how they pronounce it in the yes. And I've always been a fan of this tool because it's so cool, first of all, how they just like take the wand and just like extract the thought. But basically, for those who are not fans of Harry Potter, when Dumbledore needs to show a thought or a memory, actually, a memory to Harry Potter, he gets his wand and just like there's like a luminous filament that comes out of his brain, which is his thought, his memory, and then he puts it in water, and then Harry can just like put his head into it and watch the thing unfolds in 3D. I mean, it's the word of you know what's the word, wizards. So really cool. Unfortunately, we cannot do this, but we have our own ways of extracting our memories. And to me, there's lots of different ways. One that is very impactful, but very, very hard to do for someone who has ADHD. I mean, it takes a lot of energy to get started, is writing. That's, I guess, writing is thinking on paper. So just putting the emotions and the thoughts on paper is probably one of the most helpful thing you can do, whether it's in the form of journaling or just writing or even drawing doodles. Like having paper and just putting stuff on the page will eventually lead to you jotting down stuff that's going on in your brain that you don't realize is going on. But another thing I do is like just talk to myself in the shower. That can be like verbalizing things, practicing talking to someone, or like this presentation, for example, and just making words come outside of my brain into reality is really, really helpful. And for the perfectionism bit, it just helps you like realize, oh, okay, I had this thought that I would not be able to give this webinar without like feeling ridiculous. Why is that? Like, and so on and so on. So the third thing, which would be, I guess, like the final, I don't like to call it advice, but maybe more like line of thoughts or experience from my own, would be to accept that, um, and that's really hard to do, to really accept that the unreachable goals don't exist. Because we can accept it on like a certain level of consciousness, but deep down we're like, yeah, but it actually exists and I should be able to reach it. It's really hard to 100% convince yourself and really believe it from your heart that you don't have to reach that perfection goal. And so, one of the ways I try to remind myself of this every single day in every task I do is by dumbing it down and applying what I learned from one of my ADHD coaches, which is like the B minus work mentality. And this has helped me so much. And it's kind of shameful to share it with you, actually, because I feel like, oh my God, as a perfectionist myself, like, am I telling them to just do bad work? That's not what I want to say. And that's not aligned with my perfectionistic tendencies. But hear me when I say that the B minus work mentality is more about taking, again, like imperfect action rather than no action at all. Because we know that when we are stuck, we, as we saw before, like we just don't act, we just don't do anything, we just get like frozen in time, and we spend a lot of energy being frozen, which is like super counterproductive. So most of the time when we tell ourselves it's unacceptable to do B minus work, I want to do A plus work, what happens is we just don't do the work. So in two worlds, would you prefer the one where you just don't move forward and you stay in your same spot and you just don't grow, or would you like to grow little by little imperfectly, and then probably like you'll get better over time, but you just need to take that one imperfect step to move forward and to get like the ball rolling. So I've applied it with this webinar. I mean, I wouldn't be here talking to you right now if I hadn't just calmed myself down and told myself like, you know what, you're going to do a B minus work and it's okay. And maybe people like it, maybe they don't, but at least you try your best and you did what you had to do. So, so glad that this is the final word of this webinar, because yeah, I'm really, I'm hoping that you get, the same out of this presentation and philosophy that I did, which is it doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to get done. And sometimes that's okay. Most of the time, that's completely okay. Maybe 1% of the time, you're going to need to, that you have very high standards to reach, and someone really specify those high standards. And that's going to be the time where you need to, you know, find a way to make it work. But most of the time, that works 100%. And yeah, I hope that follows you around. Thank you. Thank you so much for all your comments, guys. Thank you. I didn't follow what was going on because I was in the groove. But I also want to thank Exiles for allowing me to do this imperfect research on the subject. Yeah, so this is just a screenshot, but I can actually share. I can share. Wait a second. Up.
I just, I want to give you a quick feedback. I believe it was amazing. Like all of us are amazed by you, and I have never seen that much comments during our live session. And it's super related to all of us because, as I mentioned, even this morning I was, I had to do a video, and it was super stressful, I believe.
Yeah.
But and I was frozen or whatever, but you need to do some kind of a small steps. You shouldn't be that perfect. You shouldn't be like thinking like, oh, I will be so stupid in front of someone else, or like. So
Yeah.
thank you
And
so much for sharing. Yeah.
well, thank you so much for the feedback. And I think the small step, I'm so irritated when I hear people just say, break it down into small steps, because it's like, duh. If it was that easy, like I'll do it, right? But what I want to really highlight is that the B minus work philosophy, which is, by the way, again, like not mine, it's by a coach named Kristen Carter. If you're interested in checking her out, and she has a coaching program, she has a podcast. But when she says it, it's more like about accepting what can be and what cannot be, rather than a tip to just like break the task down, that because we get really annoyed with those tips. But as you said, like, yeah, it's about accepting the small steps, and accepting that maybe it started out, like we need to lower our expectations, and once we do this, we end up doing way better work than if we had a greater expectation, which is totally counterintuitive. But it, like, we need to see it a couple times, or maybe like 100 times to really start believing it. um, but yeah, thank you so much for your feedback, guys. It was so cool. So cool to be here and talk to you about this topic that, as you might have seen, I was really activated about. This presentation was perfect. No,
Yes, it is. It is,
no, there is no
I
perfect.
yeah, but it was almost perfect. Okay, it was like not A plus, or
90%. Okay, great.
99%, I would say.
Thank you
But
so much.
I said Candice, like, don't be stressed about presentation. You can give us, some kind of structure, and we will design by ourselves. But yeah, she did
Yeah.
like an amazing job, I believe. Yeah,
Did it by myself. And to be completely honest, not that long ago before the start of the webinar. So, everything can happen.
yeah,
Great. So I'm going to share with you actually the X tiles, because that was also the part of the, like, what allowed me to do this imperfect presentation. So let me just share what I have
yeah. Just
here.
want to let you know it's not the finish yet. So stay tuned. We still have like about 10 to 15 minutes to show something
Yes.
else, and yeah,
Yeah, we're
stay
gonna.
tuned.
But basically, I'm gonna give the hand to Serhi after that. I just want to share my own version of using Xtiles and how cool it was for an ADHD brain to do that, because Xtiles is very, and I think that's where you're headed with the products. It's very like ADHD friendly because of um, how very. Excuse me, 2 seconds. Oops, sorry. Live things happening. um it's very visual, so I was able to just like divide things into cute little colors, and here I didn't put anything really. But oh yeah, and this tool, like the Pomodoro tool, that was really really interesting, because I mentioned a lot like time blindness during the presentation. So that was really helpful to just see how much time I was taking to do the research. And then it really scratched my nerd self or itch, to just like have the things perfectly colored and organized, and to be able to see everything. That was really cool, and it felt like really intuitive, more than other tools I've been using, and I was getting a bit like frustrated with. So it was really cool to get me started, and then it just like got all the information on there, and I was able to just like, yeah, think from this like board of thoughts and of notes. But it's a bit of a mess, but it works with your ADHD brain. Like, you can do whatever you want, and then yeah, I don't know, I really liked it. I think Serhi is going to tell you more about it, because I really haven't explored all the capacities of the tool, like really really. um, but maybe I was thinking, I don't know if we skipped a step and didn't let our audience ask if they had like any questions about the talk, or should we do this at the end? Like, how do you want to proceed?
I want you to show maybe the last couple of slides, because we
Yeah.
still have some important information, if you
Yes.
remember. And
Oh yeah, yeah.
well,
Of course.
yeah, and while you're doing so, yes, we have a couple of questions that we can already cover. And I also want to mention that Xtiles is uh, like an amazing tool, because we do not force you to do everything like in a perfect way by uh, instructions. Like, you need to do the first step and the second step and so on. And I met a lot of people, like a lot of our users, and I like their layouts, because sometimes they have tiles, like our just give me a second. Our like colorful sticky notes or whatever, and they are not always aligned to the full scale or the full width of the layout itself. And in this case, I believe it's like almost perfect. Like you can do like you want. You can unload. You were talking about journaling and stuff like that. But many people they have like sticky notes in front of them at their desk. And what you can do, especially with our new xstyles.ai, you can take a photo of all of your notes and you can upload it inside, and it will create layouts that you showcase right now. So just an amazing experience, I believe. And yeah, I believe the
Yeah,
next slide is something that people
something that
want
we're
to get.
excited to talk about.
Yes.
Yes. So we kind of made something cool happen for you if you're interested in Xtiles. Um, we're offering so this 15% discount on all the Xtiles plans. So maybe you want to say a bit more about this, Sirhi.
Yes. So definitely, we invited Candice to run this amazing webinar, and we decided to make some gift to all of the attendees by the end of the webinar. But of course, we still have some time just to showcase something. Maybe I will give you a super quick demo of what do you have, what you can have inside textiles, and how to maintain your perfectionism inside. So yeah. This is an amazing opportunity, I believe, and we will keep track of using promotion codes, and afterwards we will get some conclusions. And I hope we'll have more webinars with Candice about new exciting topics as well,
Yeah, it'd be
because
exciting.
definitely, yeah, because definitely during this webinar, during this session, we talked about perfectionism itself, but I believe we have a lot of discussion on how to maintain it better, and doing your job and so on. So yeah, I believe it could be even better. So, but
Yeah,
so good so far. Thank you so much, and it was amazing
definitely.
experience. And it's stressful for me because you were running the webinar, but I had to go through all the comments, and it's a lot, like
Yeah, I'm checking
like a
them out right
huge
now. I'm
number.
getting a bit distracted actually. Megan sent something really nice. I'm going to go binge Candice's videos now. I really appreciate it, Megan. Thank you so much. And Shelby mentioned the shiny object syndrome, which I really relate to. And that's also why I had my reserves about, you know, just a new productivity tool around the corner. I think my way to approach it is going away, like getting away from this perception of I'll just adopt a new tool and I'll just try it out and just like revolutionize the way I organize my life. I saw it more as a okay, like it's a cool thing that I'm trying out, and how can it help me? How can it be really beneficial? And actually, it was the perfect example for this webinar because it was like I need to do research. Okay, like let's try it and use X tiles. And I was able to, I mean, as I showed you, like be very flexible in the way I was organizing my information, which was not the case in other tools. And it was good. And then when I needed to go back to pen and paper, I did. And it's just finding a way to select the tools that help you and not like overwhelm yourself with too many of them. So I think it's great to keep that in mind, Shelby, definitely. But it's cool that you said that Xstyles has been the only one you still use. So interesting. I think that says a lot
Yeah.
about how good the interface is, actually.
Yeah, another question is like Xtals related. If you have already paid, you can contact our support, and we will manage everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe I can give you, because we have a couple of minutes, and I can give you like a super quick overview of Xtals itself
Yeah.
and what you can do inside. And yeah,
Yeah. And in
go
the
ahead.
meantime, I was going to say, if I don't know if we're going to have time to answer any more questions, but if you have like comments or anything about what went on with the discussion on perfectionism, feel free to put it in the chat, and I'll try to see. And if we have time, and if we can go over, I'm not sure, but answer a few of them. So
I
the
I
floor is
believe
yours.
it is possible to do, but of course, we still have some time frames, but yes,
Yeah,
we will definitely do it because the audience today, like as always, but today it's like super engaged, like amazing. Thank you so much for
exactly.
like for everything you do so far and for all of your comments as well. And from this point, I just want to give you like a super quick demo of Xstars if you are not familiar with. So basically, that's how our homepage looks like. Inside, you can find many spaces, personal ones and shared ones as well. So basically, it's a place for your personal needs, and you can also start to work with somebody else, especially with maybe it will be related more to like work related stuff, but also we have a lot of families inside Textiles, so people share some grocery lists, meal planners, like renewals or whatever. So a lot of stuff. Or maybe I also had an example of a family moving to another house, so they had a lot of stuff to purchase and stuff like that. So super easy to do, so easy to maintain because you are not obligated to start learning a new boring tool because like many people say, it reflects your brain, like it works like your brain works. So inside, as I mentioned, we have spaces, and for many people, they are like folders. So you can have, as I have, personal spaces, some templates, some AI stuff, onboarding stuff, and many more. And you can collapse it as well. And anytime you create a new project, and I believe it's a great way how to start, is just to brain dump. So you can easily create a tile that's like this digital sticky note that we have. Usually we call it as a tile, and you can have your own color. And especially with some of the new features, you can add your own color as well. And you can just start. What do you need, for example, to do? Maybe you can start with some tasks, maybe with some groceries, maybe something else. So it's super powerful. And the best part is that it's not only about note taking, it's about planning your life as well. Because as you can see, I have a lot of stuff over here. I have my personal spaces, I have shared spaces, I have a lot of projects inside, and I need to keep track of everything inside somehow. And because of that, we have some advanced feature. Maybe we will dive into it quite soon once again. But the best part of it is that you can go inside your planner for today, current week, or current month from a couple of places. And when you go there, you will see all of the tasks that you have from all the places. So basically, they are from all the projects that they have inside Textiles. And it's super easy, especially when you share this information with somebody else. As I mentioned, you can create your own. Well, this is a case of a client portal, but it's quite amazing, in my personal opinion, that all of us are gathering some information from, like juggling between different tools. But in this case, you can collect basically everything into one place, so it will be like all-in-one application. And the hierarchy is super simple. It works like your browser works, I believe. So we have tabs with multiple pages. Maybe you can have some reports, some resources and everything, and even your tasks as well. So super handy, I believe. And if you do not know where to start, you can use our xstars.ai website. And as I mentioned, you can take a photo of your notes that you already have. And in this case, we are not competing with your paper planner, like your journal or whatever. You can take a photo of your, basically of your handwritten notes, and it will work. And I will also give you an example of how does it work, because in my opinion, it's like a magic. Just give me a second, because it's
Must
something
be
that we
very useful
deliver
for ADHDers to like
definitely,
just
and
get
it's
this
something
off
that
my desk.
yes, and it is something that we delivered not so long time ago. We are still testing it, and as you can see, I
Mm.
Google it, and I have some note over here that I can. I believe I can download it. Give me a second. I can go back to Xstars AI, and I can paste this note right inside without any prompting. Of course, I understand that many people they a bit afraid of AI, but we call it as a friendly AI because it doesn't harm your data. What it does, it takes the raw information. It could be text, it could be a PDF, could be file, or even a photo of your notes. And what it does, it represents your information visually in like our project. So as you can see, it understands everything, and it understands like all the content inside, and it gives you like a beautiful layout. So that's a lot of places to start. And yeah, just
Definitely.
try X-Styles by yourself, I believe. And I believe we have a lot of questions.
Yes, but
Yeah.
there is one because you mentioned the time frame, and I agree. We should try to stay within the boundaries because otherwise, with ADHD, we can go all over the place. But
Hmm.
one thing I wrote down, and let me get it. So I don't remember who said it. I'm very sorry. But maybe you find it in the comments thread, Serhi. So someone asked,
Hmm.
was it very stressful? And I'm going back to the presentation, and then if you want to
Yeah,
answer,
yeah, yes.
did you?
I saw this question.
Yeah, I
Yes,
just
was it
wanted to answer
stressful for
because I
you?
thought it
Yeah.
was, yeah, it was interesting to just remind people that, again, like I'm not perfect and it can seem like, oh, you did a great presentation. But this person was asking, was it very stressful for you to produce this presentation, anxiety, etc.? Or are you pretty confident and calm doing this? I was not confident and calm doing this at all. Um, I I had the I was very lucky to work with Serhi, who was someone like who's super accommodating. So you didn't stress me out about like deadlines, or you only did when I asked you to stress me out about deadlines, which helped. And overall, like it was very natural. But obviously, I stressed out. Obviously, I procrastinated. Obviously, I did it all last minute. Like it's still the person I am. I'm not doing this presentation to tell you like, hey, I've reached like the point of no perfectionism anymore. So yeah, I was definitely feeling a bit anxious at some points, and it was just like a bit of hills, ups and downs. And also, I was lucky to have a lot of time actually between like when we said we were first going to do it and then when we record today this webinar. So I had time to prepare, but there was anxiety for sure.
Yeah, but as you mentioned, I was trying to be not that stressful, not be like a cause of stress or whatever, because we want to have like a chill vibe, a podcast like session, because it's something that our audience appreciate, I believe, and you did an
Yeah,
amazing job.
it was
Yeah.
yeah, it was a pleasure again. Thank you so much, guys, for interacting. Thank you to everyone for staying there for an hour of your attention. That's a
Hmm.
lot. That's a lot to ask for. So, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
yeah. We had sometimes we even had more than 100 people live.
Mhm.
And that was like a perfect experience. And I want
Yeah.
to ask you all to share your feedback about our session, about Candice as well. I believe you already love her, but I understand that maybe you are
Yeah.
a bit bored of looking at me all the time. So we want to engage you with new people, with
Yeah.
amazing people like Candice. So I feel myself super lucky that we did it, and we will
Yes.
have more, like more to come, as usually
Yes.
people
More to
say.
come. Maybe another one.
Yes, yes,
Amazing.
yes. Just ask it. Ask it. If you want to have another presentation, ask it. Please comment
Yes. Give your
underneath.
feedback.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Amazing.
Thank you.
We leave on that great note. Is there a link to follow? Oh yeah, sorry, I wasn't very explanatory on where to find me. I believe you have the link to my YouTube channel on the Luma page, so you can click there to follow me on YouTube. Um, Other things to be aware of if you're a French speaker and you're in Europe. I've created also a community of basically ADHD entrepreneurs where we support each other in this crazy journey where we don't usually have a lot of support. And thinking maybe if there's interest of like opening it to be a more like online community of English speakers, because that's where I started on my channel speaking English, and now I switch a little to French. So this is what I do now. I want to do a million other things, but for now, this is where you can find me and follow me. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
thanks so much.
Okay. Amazing, amazing feedback, and like we will definitely have links to your YouTube channel underneath. Like,
Yes.
so this video will be recorded. We will have
Oh
this,
yeah.
like live session recorded and inside the live sessions inside our YouTube channel. So yeah, need to learn
Exactly.
French. Yeah, it's. I also try to learn French, but it's yeah,
Very
not
nice.
that
Great
good so far.
language.
But yeah, amazing language, of course.
Okay.
Uh,
Well, I think we're gonna say bye now, and thanks again, everyone, and see you on the channel hopefully, and maybe in another webinar.
Thank you so much, Candice. It was an amazing experience. Thank you for being a part of our
Thank
journey.
you.
And simply, it was amazing. Thank you all. Thank you to all of our attendees. Thank you for being that engaged. I don't know, 100, maybe 200 of comments, like a huge amount of them. Thank you all. I hope you will have a great rest of your day. And I will see you next Tuesday and next Tuesday after the next Tuesday. So let's
Every
keep in
Tuesday.
touch and every Tuesday, basically.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank
Let's
you
stay
all.
tuned.
Thank you, Candice. You are amazing. And
Thanks.
yes,
Oh,
thank you so
great.
much.
Thanks,
And
Elise. She just popped in the chat the link to the channel if you're interested. Thank you so much, Elise.